Yeah.
Does Contain Nuts, episode 25, I believe. I'm Phil Hyland, that's Lee Hogarth. This is the podcast that grabs life by the big dangly balls. How you doing, Lee?
Hairy, dangly, sweaty.
Some are hairy and sweaty, some are not.
Smelly, crusty balls.
Smelly, crusty balls, you've got serious problems, mate. Oh, God.
Just to emphasize it for the viewers, just that little bit more, you know what I mean?
Visual.
Just so they can really get into the vision of what this is about.
Oh, God. I see the listener.
What are you writing about that, eh?
I reckon that's a pretty nice intro, mate. I think that's a nice intro. I also reckon that my skin is feeling rather nice today because I've just started using a brand new moisturiser.
Ooh, tell me all about it, Phil.
Normally, I use Factor 50 sun cream, and I've done that ever since for a long time. I just slap.
What kind?
I think it's Sultan, which is probably, I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Not Hawaiian Tropic. Yeah. But anyway, Mrs., as I've now got, said to me, you shouldn't really use sun cream as a moisturiser. And I was like, why? And I can't remember, said what the reasoning was. She said, why don't you get a normal moisturiser like most blokes do? So I did. And today's the first outing of using it. My skin feels tighter than a duck's anus. So it must be working.
I can't really speak that well about it, but I kind of can at the same time. I've moisturised for years and years and years. And it's about getting the right one for your skin. Now, I know I'm saying that sitting here looking like I'm the sun. And I'm just glaring and shining like a fucking glistening piece of tinsel. But I'm worse with other moisturisers, and I've tried loads of moisturisers to get me skin because I've got very oily skin. And I know you can say diet affects it, all of this affects it, and all that. I've been through all that fucking whirlwind of trying to sort my skin out. So I just use Bulldog now, and it works pretty well for us.
That's exactly what I've got, mate. Bulldog, there you
go. That's a proper man's. You can't even call it moisturiser when it's Bulldog, because it's a man's one.
You know it, mate. And not only is it moist.
What one you got though?
Oh, mate, moisturiser, and underneath it says age defence. So if you start seeing me look like Benjamin Button, I'm going back in time, mate. I already look about 12 with no hair.
You got the old age defencer.
Yeah.
I've got to use I just use the oil control one, like. But it's not to get all funky, but it's got some good ingredients in there. And it's a good brand. I love the whole thing about it. Like man's best friend. Did you know that's why it's called Bulldog?
No.
Bulldog's a man's best friend.
Yeah, apparently so.
There you go. There you go. What is, tell me, what is your fucking shit sandwich?
Which is how we start these podcasts now, isn't it? It's how we start these podcasts, and it's not just a very weird...
Everyone can't wait to hear our shit sandwich. I actually asked from my group, and it's some people say sandwich and some people say sandwich, same as you. So it's not quite a Geordie thing, but it's a 50% Geordie thing.
The real,
when you asked us the question.
Yeah, I did ask you the question. So, but just to confirm, the actual word of food inside two slices of bread is sandwich with a W.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Why don't we just be really stupid and call this a shit roll?
Let's just settle on a roll. Yeah, but then you'll start banging on like you Northerners do about, is it a roll or a bap or a...
But that's what I mean. I wouldn't dare call it any. I just call it a sandwich. Like it's these bap. Like that's the shittest. However, let's have it out. Which is the shittest one out of all of those stupid fucking sayings? When it's clearly a sandwich, and you all the way down south know it's a sandwich. Us all the way up north know it's a sandwich. The people in the middle are just making up fucking crazy shit.
I think it's
roll, bap.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously a sandwich. Cob is the worst. Bacon cob, cheese cob. What's a cob? And then you have the Then you have the phrase. Then you have cob knob, chocolate cob knobs. And then you have the phrase. People say when they're angry, "Oh, he's got a right cob on." "Oh, I've got a right cob on," as if to say, like, and that's like, "Oh, I've got a mood. I'm in a mood." Cob. So it means a roll, and
it's fucking angry. Pointless.
Anyway,
so cob's your worst. I'd say cob's my worst as well. Like,
yeah,
you just feel weird even saying it.
To be honest, though, mate,
cob?
to be honest, you can't really talk about words and accents because you come out with some. You've got your own dialect.
And I'll tell you why we can. Exactly for that reason, because we are a beautiful city situated in the middle of England in the United Kingdom, and in our little city we have our own language. Do you in London? No.
Well, to be honest, mate, we have. It's called Cockney rhyming slang.
Aye, but you don't speak like that all day long and every day. Every single word that comes out of our mouth is like this.
Why do you want to have your own language, though?
Because we're
What's
fucking
good
great.
about that? Really? You like to segregate yourself from the rest of the country, do you?
It's called God's country for a reason.
Anyway, enough of this mindless.
That makes me Jesus. If it's
so.
God's country, that makes me Jesus.
I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's get into this.
Lisas.
That's not funny, is it? Really? Sounds like Lizo.
Come on, then.
Who's that bloke who presented?
Tell us what you.
Do you remember that guy who presented?
Tell us what your shit cob is.
Hold on. Lizo. I think it was his name, Lizo, who presented news rounds. Right? I don't know if you ever used to watch that. And he was a guy that presented news rounds. I think that was his name. And there's a story, right? He went to a uni. I think it's like Oxford or Cambridge uni to do a speech, right? To do a talk in the student union, right? Or one of these unis. And because he's a bit nerdy, right? I think all the students afterwards, they got him really pissed and ended up sellotaping to the ceiling.
What, him?
It's him. They sellotape him to the ceiling or a wall, yeah. So it's his news round presenter, like, get me down. Sellotaped him to the wall or ceiling.
What the fuck?
How funny is that? Anyway, let's get into this, shall we? So, shit sandwich for me, as everyone knows, let's explain it once more because we're going to be doing it a few weeks, haven't we? Shit sandwich is something that's good, something that's bad, sandwiched again with something that's been good about my week, right?
Exactly, because we all have good weeks, we all have bad weeks, we all have ups, we all have downs. And that's basically why.
That's it. So the first good part about my week, what I've really enjoyed about this week is I've been meditating this week with a bit more intent, right? I've been getting into it. And the reason I've done that is because I've bought this thing called a Muse headband. I've had it for a few weeks, but I'm really using it now. You've got one as well, haven't you? You're going to get the box out. There it is. Lovely.
For the viewers.
So I've got this thing called a Muse headband, and it basically monitors your brain waves, right? As you know. And but I've been getting into it, and I've joined this. I've found this Facebook group. We've got a coach who helps us with this kind of shit as well, haven't we? I've found this Facebook group where they bang on about their brain waves, and it's fascinating, man. Like, it's real fascinating stuff because for me, and I reckon you probably used to be the same, loads of people listening to this are going to be the same. Like, you hear the word meditating and you think, whatever, it's like pseudo bro science, don't do anything, it's bollocks, right? But this brings the science element to it, you know, and I like that. So I've got to bang into it.
It helps you with it. Do you know why I like it? Because obviously I've got one as well. I like it because I've been meditating for about 5-6 years now, right? Now I just do little guided bits to begin with, and then I start to get a little bit more trying to practice some stuff, and then so I've done quite a bit of different kinds of meditation. But you can only kind of base whether you're on the right track from your feeling that you're feeling at that time. Now that feeling that you're feeling, you label it as good or bad. So I've had some meditations where I'm trying to do a certain thing. So say here's an example. So if I can hear my heart pounding dead strong and I'm focused on how much it's pounding, that for me said that I was doing it right, and I was focused on the heart, and I was really feeling the heart breathing, and I was really breathing through the heart. Now, this is just an example, right? It's not fully. Don't start getting this old technique and being the meditation police here. I'm just using an example, right? Now, since using the brainwaves and since using the feedback, the actual data in front of us, that doesn't get me to where I want to be. For what I'm trying to do with that heart breathing thing, when I know I'm on point with that, it's actually not the feeling of my heart pounding. That's actually my mind being too active and crazy and focused. But when my heart isn't it's beating, but it's silent and it's soft and I'm just thinking and connecting and focusing on my heart is actually where I want to be. Now, if I didn't have the feedback, I'd probably be saying, I can't find my heart. I can't even feel my heart. I can't focus on my heart. Like this, I'm not like, I give up. I'm throwing in the towel. But actually, that's me on the right track. And I would have thought that the heart pounding means I can feel it more, so that means I'm on track. But really, that was me getting pissed off.
I was going to say,
so
yeah.
the feedback paired. That's why I love it. I love it for the feedback paired to know that I'm actually doing what I'm meant to be doing, and to know and to attach the correct feelings and correct labels to what I'm doing.
I think what's important as well, it does make sense. What's really important as well, and this is anyone can learn from this, is a little lesson in data and measuring things. It's very easy to get sucked into data and get sucked into measurements. Do you know what I mean? And especially like in the world of fitness, people do this all the time. Like have a training session, get off, forget that training, get on the scales, and the scales have gone up since yesterday, right? And then because of that one specific reading, they'll be like, all right, my diet isn't working, exercise isn't working, change everything, you know? But it's like that saying, like one hot day don't make a summer, does it? It's like one reading doesn't mean that you need to change everything. And it'd be easy for me to look at this and go, wow, these brainwaves are all over the place, when, you know, I thought I had a good session there. But it's about you taking the averages. And I think anyone who's on any kind of journey to change themselves physically or mentally, whatever the goal is, it's well easy, isn't it, to get caught up in the results and the numbers and look at the averages and where you're going over time, if you're going in the right or wrong direction, right? Instead of just taking it on one session, go, fuck, oh, it's all gone wrong, basing it on just one readout, right?
And using it as it's meant to be for feedback. It's feedback. It's like talking to your friend or talking to your coach. It's feedback. Same as like, I've had it this week actually with me, one of my PT group, and our weight gone up, right? So let me just get your take on this, right? There's a lot of data. I'm not going to give you it all, right? I'll just give you the lowdown. So our weight gone up by 2 kilograms. She's trying to get slimmer. She's trying to lose weight, lose body fat, tighten our arms and stomach and all of that up. So she's getting on the scales. It's gone up by 2 kilograms. Our measurements have gone down by 11 centimeters. She's increased her water intake. She's increased her food, so she's not eating 100 calories anymore. What would you say about that? I'll just give you that data for now.
Brilliant. I'll say that's brilliant. Great result.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. I would say, why would you? And this is the thing, people might look at that, and let's say she was only looking at scales and not taking any other using any other markers, then she look at the scales and think, oh, it's all going wrong, and start eating less, start exercising more, creating more stress into what might already be a stressful life when everything was working in the first place, you know.
Exactly.
And so I think it's important to take loads of measurements or markers, not necessarily measurements, but use loads of different markers. Yeah, man.
Just use it for feedback, nothing else. Not for you to get a hard on over, not for you to celebrate and go crazy over, but just to be like, champion, I'm on the right track.
Yeah, man.
If not, you're like, I'm glad I realized. I wonder why. Oh, it's probably because of that. It's probably because I had 2 liters of wine. All right. Oh, sound. I'll not have the 2 liters of wine. I'll see what happens. Oh, I've lost weight. Magical. It's kind of like that, isn't it?
And I always think with fitness goals, photos are the one.
Oh, they're the bee's knees.
They're the best marketing. So many people. How many people don't want to do it?
That's the first step. That's the first step. Like I don't give anybody the next step until I've took the photos.
No. The amount of people that don't want to take photos of themselves is massive, which tells you a lot, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's crack on. So that's point number one. That was a good thing I've quite enjoyed about the week. This the kind of shit bit about the week, and I've had a good week this week, right? Since we've talked last week, nothing really bad has gone on, so I didn't really know what to put here. But what I have put as the shit between my two good things is I had a really expensive weekend. Now, bear with me on this one, because that normally you might think, what's bad about that? Went out for a meal at the weekend. Tell you more about it in a minute. And spent loads and loads of money. Right? It was well, relatively expensive. Okay. I'm going to now move on to the good bit, because it's all linked in. Okay.
Is this going to be like one of those films where it's like Back to the Future?
Yeah, it's like Sliding Doors or whatever. Those ones where you never know. You're like, oh god. It's worse when they do it in books.
Am I in the 80s now? I'm in the 20s now.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Where
It's worse when they do it in books.
Yeah, go on.
Each chapter is like going back and forth, and I just get lost. So it's, a nightmare.
You don't realise till you're halfway through.
Yeah. So I spent quite a lot of money at the weekend on a meal Friday night. But and this is, as I said, the good bit. What I spent it on was a meal with my new missus, my two sisters, and their two fellas, right? We had the six of us had a blinding time, like a real good family link up. Do you know what I mean? Parents weren't there, just like quite close to my sisters, well, real close. And we all kind of met for the first time, right? New girlfriend on the scene and all that. And it was absolute like belter of a night. We drank far too many Negronis. It was just wicked good fun, And I kind of reminded myself, back in the old days, I used to stress a bit about money and like, oh fuck, I can't afford that. I shouldn't have spent that on that. I shouldn't have spent that, and blah blah blah. But now I see things a little bit differently, and the experience. And this sounds a little bit dry up, mate. But the experience that I had for the money that I spent, you can't replace that. Do you know what I mean? Money can always be replaced. Money can always be earned, but time, you can't get time back. And you can't, if you go through life not having these nice experiences with the people that you kind of love and your family and mates and whatever, you get to the end that you're dying. Like, well, I've got loads of money in my bank, but my fun bank account and experience account in my mind has got fucking zero in it. Yeah, massively miserable.
It's that whole value versus cost, isn't it?
Yeah, that's precisely. Yeah.
Exactly. You get that a lot in like even like what we do, our mindset programs and stuff like that. People are like, oh, that costs a lot, but really the value that comes from it is absolutely like incredible.
You can't put a price on it though, can you? You can't get it back. Exactly,
that's what I mean. It's like it compounds like a billion %. Yeah. If imagine like all programs were actually charged what they were worth in terms of your feedback and what you gained from it, they'd be even more expensive. They'd be fucking ridiculously expensive.
Sometimes I think about the free week that I put on. I know you do it as well. And the value in that, and I'm not just saying to plug my own shit, but the value in that's massive.
Yeah, you could do that free week and change your life.
100%.
And people go to marriage counselors, they go to like general counselors, to go to like privately and everything, and they pay a fortune. But then you can get like a program that kind of is going to give you the same outcome.
Yeah,
it's mad.
Yeah, man. So there you
go. That's what it is. It's value versus cost in it. You got to look for the value, not the cost. Look at the value, not the cost in it.
And think about what you want out of life. I like experiences in life. I like to have memories, and I want my eyes to see as many different things as they can in this short time that I'm on this floating rock in the sky, So yeah, it was wicked.
You say that, just let's touch on that. Because inside of Invincible, we talk about like stimulating our senses, and you just touched on it there. You want your eyes to see everything and see a lot of things. Like we talk about that, but we talk about everything. So like we've got all senses. So you want to taste amazing. If you go out to taste some fucking beautiful food, or you eat your favorite food a lot, obviously, like if it's fucking it's pizza all the time, don't go over the top of that or whatever. But you want to be tasting amazing things. You want to be hearing beautiful music, beautiful things, beautiful conversations, waves from different beaches and forestry, and make sure you're ingesting some amazing things via ears, smells.
Well, it all boils down,
amazing things.
Feeling amazing things. I'm not going to tell him what actually you did there. Jesus. But it all boils down to feeling, not just with your hands, but what emotionally, doesn't it? All of that, seeing
most of those senses create the feeling.
All the roads lead back to feeling good.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's my little shit sandwich for the week, mate.
Yep.
Tell me yours.
Oh, that was your last good one, wasn't it? Oh, I've got my notes here.
He's got his nuts.
Nuts. Do you were talking about language? So I live like kind of in the middle of Newcastle, like Gateshead and Sunderland, and I say to people, "You're right," and some people say like, "I read." This woman was like, "Or read, or read." Or reach, you said, or something we had today at me. I was like, what the fuck she just said there?
don't really
It was so
understand.
weird. It was like a combination. So
Oh, see, yeah.
normally you'd
Right.
say I'll read, or
Or
she was
all
like
right.
or read. She
Or,
said or read, or read.
mm,
No, it doesn't matter.
good story, that. That's a cool story,
It
bro.
was
You got any
weird.
more good
It was
ones like
weird.
that? Because that was a real banger.
Right, here's the first good one on my shit sandwich. I also thought, as you were doing your shit one, because same again, not loads of shit stuff happens, right? But stuff
Mm.
does happen. We can also talk about insights. How about that? Good insight, shit
Mm.
insight, good insight. So if you haven't had something bad happen, I don't want you to look for like a bad thing.
Mm.
Just use a bad insight, right?
Mm.
Or an insight that's going to help someone. A negative insight that could give lessons or value or what have you. Right. First good part of my shit sandwich or shit cob or shit bap or shit roll is on Friday I'd gone out on my bike. Not my pedal bike, my motorbike. And mate, are you right? You don't have your license, do you?
No,
You're right. No.
no.
Like going out on your bike, right? Like other riders will know what I'm talking about. It is such a beautiful bloody experience, mate. And talk about stimulating all of your senses. Flying along, especially if you're behind another bike, you can smell the other bike. You can see all of the views where you're going. You're feeling everything. You're feeling the road. You're feeling the air. Oh, mate, it's such a bloody good
Do you
experience.
know what?
And on
Yeah,
Friday, yep, go on,
I
yep,
can relate to that because when I was in Thailand, 2005, when I went with all my pals, went traveling, that I
yep,
rode bikes for the first time and basically taught myself to
yep,
ride a geared fucking bike, like a geared moped.
ledge.
Yeah, in Thai, I'd never done it before. I had flip flops on, and they're like, right, this is the you pull, when you pull the brake for the
The
clutch, do
clutch.
the clutch,
Yeah.
foot gears, right foot's the brake, and they're like, go on, go. I'm like, oh mate, I've never ever even ridden a moped before, and I was like this, and I was trying to brake with my right hand instead of the foot brake, but in pulling the brake, I accelerated straight in on, all just missed this woman and her kid. I was like, oh, this is a nightmare, but luckily got it. And mate, three of us rode about 3 hours to this place called Pai in Northern Thailand. Most people get a bus, like a coach tour there. We're like,
Yeah.
sod that, let's ride all the way through the hills, mate. It was like through the
Oh,
jungle. It was like
mint.
the best thing. Yeah, that was such a cool trip, man. Wicked. So yeah, I kind
That's
of get
what.
it.
So you have experienced it, I. So
Yeah.
it's fucking mint. And just being out with like people who like the same thing. You don't even talk. You go out with someone on your bike. You obviously can't even talk. We don't have walkie-talkies like you do in your
Mm.
lessons. But you're just with someone and you're with people that you enjoy the company and you're just gliding through the hills and that. We went out again. We were out for about 3.5 hours. We went up to Scotland and all around Scotland and we come back down hours. Oh
Scotland.
mate, it was just incredible. I like you, mate. Do you know how you be careful what I say here? You can get pretty far on a bike in 3 hours. That's it. Do you know what I mean? Depending
Yeah,
on the fast roads that you take, the short roads that get you there
I
quicker.
see what you're saying. Yeah,
Nothing to do with the accelerator, right?
yeah,
But you can get quite far.
yeah.
Like we go up all through the countrysides and round. We're through Kelso, through Coldstream, up like through Berwick and all that. You just go. It's beautiful, and then we come back. So
Sounds good.
that there makes me feel so good, and the reason it makes me feel good also is I'm not even fucking thinking. I'm just experiencing
Mm.
at that time. I'm
Flow.
literally, I exactly like we talked about this a bit. I'm out of my head. I'm just going. Same as you driving a car, you don't even have to think about the gears now, do you?
Mm.
So you're just like experiencing. I'm just out experiencing all this fucking beauty and loving it.
Reception. Why have I lost Lee? That's good, isn't it? I've no idea if he can hear me. I've no idea if he can see me, but he has now frozen with his nice shiny face, just it's just doing nothing in the screen. So if you're listening to this right now, this is going to sound a little bit weird, but I've got no idea what he was going to say next. If you hold on the line for a sec, let's give him a let's see if he sends me a message back. In case he doesn't, in fact, I'll tell you what we're going to do, right? I'm going to wrap it up here. If you've been listening, big up yourself. he's now gone. He's gone. He's left. I'm going to wrap this up right now. Okay. If you've been listening to this, drop us a message. Give us a shout. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know if you've got any thoughts on anything that we've talked about. It's been a short podcast tonight, but today. But you know what? It's better than nothing. Gives you something to listen to over your frappalapolino and a Danish pastry in the morning, right? So get in touch with us if you need us. If you need to email us. I can't even remember what we've got a brand new email address, and I can't even remember what it is. But I will. If you need us, at the Phil Highland, at Lee Hogarth Fitness, get on Instagram, get on Facebook, drop us a message. All right, let us know what's going on. Send us your biggest obstacle, or even better, right? Send us a question that you would like us to answer in the next podcast. Okay, it can be on anything. It can be a question about us. It can be something that you want to solve and work through. Do you know? Just give us a shout. Get in touch, because we like friends. We like people to contact us, because no one does. Anyway, this is Does Contain Nuts. Big up yourselves. Peace out.